What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Got Ilhan Omar. Keeps calling this hate. But Americans are frustrated with illegal activity, as y'all know. There are a lot more things that have come out, and y'all know I'm here to show y'all. Definitely. Check out Ilhan Omar and what she has to say.
Bases is targeting you as much as she is.
It's an easy clickbait. There is a lot of hate in this country for Muslims. There's a lot of hate in this country for black people, especially black women. And there is a lot of hate, severe hate for immigrants. And so I fit them all. She knows that she can easily raise money and get support for her bigotry from her bigoted, the bigoted people who want to give money to her campaign. But the reality is, in this country, the First Amendment does not only protect speech, it protects the right and liberty for anybody to practice their faith. I do practice the Muslim faith. I am an immigrant. I am proud of both of those things. And I was, of course, born in Somalia, which the president likes to mention. And I'm also proud of my Somali heritage.
And we know. But, it's always, good news after good news after good news when it comes down to it, especially within these individuals. Says here, HHS Secretary RFK Jr. drops the hammer on Somali fraud, cuts off all child care payments to Minnesota, effective immediately. Definitely effective immediately. Y'all don't believe me? Y'all can go check for yourself if y'all want to. HHS_Jim. And y'all can find that. Check it out right here.
Hello, I'm HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. I'm here with Assistant Secretary Alex Adams. Alex oversees the Administration for Children and Families. Intrepid journalists have made shocking and credible allegations of extensive fraud in Minnesota's child care programs. We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children. Yesterday, I spoke directly with the director of the Minnesota Child Care Services Office. She could not tell me with confidence whether those allegations of fraud are isolated or whether there's fraud stretching statewide.
Today, we have taken 3 direct actions against the blatant fraud that seems to be rampant in Minnesota. First, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF child care payments across America. Starting today, we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment. Second, I have just signed and sent a demand letter to Governor Walz. I required a full 360 review of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections.
And third, we've launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you're a parent, a provider, a member of the public, we want to hear from you. Let me be crystal clear. ACF expects every state to uphold the highest standards of oversight, monitoring, and accountability for federal dollars. Minnesota is no exception.
We're committed to holding bad actors accountable. Regardless of rank or office, anyone who's involved in perpetrating this fraud against the American people should expect to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
They think it's a game. Y'all know why they think it's a game? Well, now, and what I love about this now, is that Nick Shirley he's definitely did something that definitely, I would say, helped out a lot when it comes to a lot. It helped obviously expose, things that's been going on. But not only that, it's been, you have so many other independent journalists and other people that are now following those footsteps. And I know a lot of people, why are they doing it now? It's important to. It's definitely important to, because people give different reactions. People say different things to, people. Nick Shirley, he obviously went in there and, said things, and they gave him a response. And, you see how things have they kind of mess themselves up, in these daycares or health businesses that they have. And you might have somebody else, and that a different individual, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm about to just let them know. So you never know. You never know how they will react. So it's actually good. And all I ask for, to just please be safe, if you are doing that. But as y'all know, there are more, people that are going to these places, and seeing for themselves. This is Quality Learning Center. And I said learning because they didn't put, they didn't spell learning right and put with the N in there like they were supposed to. Said it's now claiming they're only open 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. and trying to explain away, why Nick Shirley didn't see any kids. Check this video out right here, y'all.
What would you say to Nick Shirley, the YouTuber, if he was standing in front of you right now? I have
nothing against him himself, but I do have something against the rhetoric. If you're going to be a journalist, just have a moral compass. Like, do what you do correctly. If you catch business that are fraud, no one here is with that, or we don't support that as a community. I don't support that myself. I was born and raised here. I'm not for fraud. Like the notion that, hey, a certain batch of Somalis got caught, so all of them support it. It's like, no one. If in any community, any mishaps that happen, the rest of the community obviously doesn't want that to happen. It's a stain on all of our names, as you guys can see. We don't want that to happen. We don't take part in that. We don't like that. We don't want that in our communities. But just to say, hey, a certain company got caught, so they must all do it, and I feel like that's what he's doing. I'm not a fan of it.
2 to 10 p.m. may not be your typical daycare hours, so can you explain why it is that you operate during these hours? The reason for that is we're after school hours. So most of our clients, not most of our clients, all of our clients is after school hours. So schools, earliest dismissal would be 2:15 to 2:30ish, and the latest dismissal would be up to like 4:30ish, 4:40ish. So that's when our kids come to us. We don't have anyone in the morning. We deal with only parents and clients that come to us after school. So that's why ours are 2 to 10 p.m. If we try to do, once again, I'd like to conclude, the YouTuber that was making the claims, you were here earlier today. I came here at 1 o'clock. You were here. Where are you now? You claim we're closed. You claim we're a fraud. Where are you? Why are you not here right now? It's like you're trying to put out a certain message about a certain group. I'm not gonna make that claim. I don't want to make that claim without me knowing him personally, but that's what it seems like he's doing from his front. Where are you right now? He was here earlier. He was recording us. We had no issue with it. We told him, hey, just get off our property. You can record. Now he's not here.
Not to make it seem, crazy or like bad, or if I'm following, Nick Shirley everywhere he goes. But I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. When it comes to Nick Shirley, he has this grit. He has this, and I can tell just by the person that he is. We've seen him in multiple places, doing this and doing that. You seeing him, everywhere. He's speaking here, he's speaking there. He obviously isn't there because not only is he, with the child care, in the daycares, but these health businesses. I've been seeing him in New York. You seeing him, everywhere. And I'm not making up no excuse for him, but I mean, it's just wild to me. It's wild to me. They're playing this game. They're playing this game. And you see multiple videos of them going to these places on different days, in different times. And that's what I truly find it insane. It says Nick Shirley calls out the inconsistent stories regarding the Quality Learning Center in Minnesota. Check out, what Nick Shirley has to say.
Department of Children, a lady, the commissioner, Kiki Brown said you guys were closed a week ago, and now you guys are open right now. This is not true what you guys are saying.
I don't have anything to do with that business.
Fraud.
I don't have anything to do with that business. What you got on? Oh my God. You're the infamous Nick Shirley who's getting dollars off of YouTube.
I have a question. If
right?
someone can answer.
Oh, hey, brother.
This
All right, let's move up. Don't say something.
This facility is licensed.
Oh, it is?
Hold on, what? What did that dude say? I want to hear what he said. Hold on.
Say something.
This facility is licensed.
Oh, it is?
Did he say something that makes sense?
Oh, it is going to make sense because
Yeah.
because he's getting yikes.
99?
This man just brought my wallet back. I just left my wallet out there. I appreciate you.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna need a sweatshirt. I'm gonna need a sweatshirt. Nick Shirley, anybody that's watching this that has a sweatshirt, please show me where I can get a sweatshirt at. I need a quality Lyric Center sweatshirt, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely need one ASAP. It's funny. Definitely funny. I truly do not get it. It says the same day, however, the center's manager said they never closed down once. You know, and that's obviously, you know, the video that I showed y'all before right here with this guy. Said the center's manager said they never closed down once, even though, or even showed off how many people were at the center as proof they were a real business. And as y'all, you know, see, it says Shirley claim is correct. On Monday, the Department of Children, Youth, and Families Commissioner T. Brown said the center had closed down last week. I'm telling y'all, this stuff is insane, bro. It definitely is insane. It's so insane, and I wanted to add this video in here because this is what pisses me off, y'all. Says CNN's Abby Phillip is now, you know, speaking on Nick Shirley, and attacking him on that he isn't doing real journalism. I don't know what, you know, you would call that then, but I truly don't understand it. And, you know, this is nothing, you know, that's obviously surprising, but just check out what she has to say.
This is politics. But, you know, honestly, you knock on the door of a daycare center and you're like, let me in, let me in. What do you expect people to do? You know, in some of those cases, there were children in there. What do you want people to do in that situation? Open the door and say, come on in, when they know that the Somali community is under attack, is being threatened every single day? What is
under
going on
attack?
Look, if there's fraud there or anywhere else as it relates to Medicaid, it should be rooted out, and whoever has perpetrated it should be prosecuted, no question. But, you know, in the homeless shelters I run, we have daycare centers. If someone just showed up at the door banging to say, I want to, you know, bring a child there, we would not let them in. We don't let people who are unauthorized come in to daycare centers. But a big part of this that we also have to note is there was no need for the president to say the horrible things he said about the Somali community.
It's the lies. This is a post by Eric Daugherty, and it's true on what, you know, he said right here. It says Nick Shirley didn't say let me in. They held up his paper showing these Somalians get millions in taxpayer dollars and simply asked for the document allowing a child to be enrolled. He obviously said, I forgot what he said, you know, his kid name was, or, you know, it was a made up name. I'm not really sure if he has kids or not, but, you know, he stated, oh, I got a kid. Oh, what do I do going about this? You know, I'm telling y'all, bro. It's definitely insane. Definitely insane. It says here, Liz Collin interviews a former HSI agent who saw Somali runners going through the TSA with suitcases full of cash. Check it out right here.
I know as part of this, you also were documenting cash flying out of the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. And I wanted to speak more to that piece of things as we've been hearing a lot more about that. Many people in law enforcement backing up what recently a former TSA agent told us, but watching two Somali men fly out of the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport with millions of dollars almost every week. She talked about how that was common. And also, we've heard from others who talk about that was actually part of their training back then, 10 years ago. Recently, a former TSA agent wrote in a letter, he said about how his training officer said it was legal, nothing out of the ordinary. He also wrote to us to say that his training officers said, quote, the two men are runners in which they ship U.S. currency overseas, and it's money obtained from daycare centers. So you have this daycare fraud that still bothers you. And I know you also want to speak to these millions of dollars of cash that you documented leaving the country as well, Jeremy.
Yes, exactly. So simultaneously, like I said, as this daycare fraud case was going, we were simultaneously, and again, that's why we would be brought in for this, because we, under HSI, under our customs authorities, we are the lead investigative agency when it comes to bulk cash smuggling. HSI is the lead, and that's one of our primary missions is to combat bulk cash smuggling. So we have extensive experience in training in bulk cash smuggling. And we do have agents assigned to the airport. They still do. That's one of our missions is we investigate criminal activity at the customs port at the airport. So our agents at the airport ultimately opened up a case because they were getting these referrals, as your previous guest explained, all this cash going through. So we were stopping and investigating persons leaving the country with this money. And yes, they were declaring it. They weren't hiding the money. They weren't secreting it in luggage. They were declaring it. They were registered money service business couriers. However, our argument at the time and why we kept the case going, and I say we as an HSI, we really knew it was, common sense was telling us this money was coming from nefarious sources, from fraud. And you can do everything legal, but if the currency you're carrying is from an illegal source, well, i.e. drug smuggling, human smuggling, illegal counterfeiting goods, whatever, if you have illegal money, that money is illegal and subject to seizure. So we kept the case open for months and months, and every time we would get called from the TSA, we would respond to the airport. We would document the case. Who was taking the money out, how much money, that it was declared. Even called personally, I did myself call the U.S. Attorney's Office and try to get a criminal referral for bulk cash smuggling, explaining I believe this is nefarious money. It's going out. It's from illegitimate sources. And I was politely told, no, and they're doing everything legal. They're money couriers and they're registered, either with FinCEN or the state. And I'm like, nah, I don't buy it. Illegal money is still illegal money. But no, we just documented it for years. And like I said, I don't know the totality of the documentation because I only responded, I believe, 3 times myself personally. But our agents responded numerous times to the airport for these calls, and we documented it all. So there are documents out there relating to this, and they just need to be exposed.
And no charges, obviously. I know.
Go show you right there on how much corruption, on how much fraud, that's going on. Y'all heard it here first. I'm telling y'all. Tim Walz obviously been governor while all of this has, been taking place. It's definitely sad. Says Minnesota lawmaker confirms credible whistleblowers have come forward proving Tim Walz and his team threatened them with accusations. If they expose Somali fraud. Says we need people to go to jail. And I do agree, and I know y'all do too. Check it out.
Absolutely. We have dozens of credible whistleblower reports saying that exact same thing, that people were told not to say anything because they'd be called racist or Islamophobic or it would hurt the state. And so people tried to come forward, but were shut down. And that protection of a particular community is what really allowed this fraud to flourish in Minnesota for years. But we have said very publicly that, yes, the bulk of the fraud we've discovered so far is in the Somali community, but some of our best whistleblowers are also in the Somali community. And it's really important that we get to the truth of this issue. And so by failing to call it out, we allowed it to continue, and that has hurt Minnesotans tremendously, taxpayers and our vulnerable citizens.
I'm telling y'all. And I feel like everybody is truly tired of it. And they want to see, they want to see things actually done. With people going to jail. And I'm not just talking about, when it comes to Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, all of them. I'm not even going to lie. That's just truly how I feel. As Nick Shirley tells Donald Trump Jr. that Tim Walz should serve prison time. We need arrests. Check it out.
I think the accountability we want to see happen with this is we do want to see people actually be held criminally for what they've committed. Mm-hmm. If you stole $10 million, you'd be in jail. If I stole $10 million, I'd be in jail. So if Tim Walz is accountable for, let's just say, even $1 million of this fraud, whether he has to spend 10 days in a prison cell or however many years a judge finds him guilty for, that's what he should have to do. And same with all the other fraudsters and all the other corrupt politicians who allowed this to happen. It's time to take it serious, and this is such a pivotal moment for the current administration to really show, okay, we're holding people accountable for what they've done.
Yeah, I saw Cash put out a thing on it. They've been looking into this for months. And I guess the thing is this: there's not just the people at the daycare centers or the people taking that check. Where's the money going? Where's the other funding? I mean, this is complicated stuff to track down because you really can't just take out the one daycare center or the 50 or the 100 that are there. You got to see where all this other stuff is going so you can uncover what is probably a much larger, corruption case. Than even what you've discovered, which is, again, billions of dollars, in my opinion, probably at least. But it seems like it's going so much further than that. And, it all probably ties back to some sort of Democrat fundraising apparatus where these businesses are then making sure that they're electing the people and the Democrats so they can keep perpetuating these fraudulent policies. And it's just a never-ending vicious cycle.
Yeah, it is a never-ending vicious cycle. But I think if they do go after the person who's most accountable for this and who has even said that organized crime, he's even admitted to organized crime, and Tim Walz has, before the fraud. So he's known about this fraud for a long time.
Exactly.
So if they go after him and then continue to go after everybody else, then you'll see massive change and you'll see real accountability be held.
Yeah, no, it's nuts.
Definitely. I truly feel like, and I've said this many times, that this should be more so an example, because this is obviously happening in other places. I literally just seen a post today, somebody confronting, an individual in Ohio. It was a daycare in Ohio, and, an individual, confronted them about it. And, I truly love, that Nick Shirley did it, because people are definitely speaking out. People are doing, what, government should be doing, is out, what mainstream media should be doing, because I feel like this is something that needs to be everywhere. I truly do. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all much. Let everybody catch y'all next one.